Hey guys, Lori here. Today I wanted to share a video about how to be a good filler. Filling, in case you don't know what it is used by alliances in Evony where there's someone who can't participate in a battlefield in a certain time slot, usually due to IRL reasons like they have work or sleep, travel, angry wife. So they ask someone that they know and trust to play in Battlefield for them, and that way they can get the BOG or BOC rewards, and the alliance, if it's a rallying alliance, can still fill their rallies. So today I wanted to go over in a video like how to quickly accustom yourself to an account that you're not familiar with. What are the key things to check, especially with BOC Ultimate Season and All Stars coming up. And there are around 3 or 4 alliances that I fill for regularly, including RSP, so I've got somewhat of a routine down. But first things first, let's say someone contacts you. Usually they'll give you a Facebook login since that is compatible with the most number of device types. That might require two-factor authentication, which means there'll be a code that needs to be passed from the account owner over to you so that you can log in. And then if it's someone or an account that you don't know really well, usually it's good to discuss some details like whether senior March buff can be used, dragon talents can be turned on, if it's acceptable to heal or not, if you should be cautious about using March speeds, like do PvP presets need to be set up, and then just to like approach it from the perspective of being really respectful of the account, since like someone probably invested a lot into the account and it's not yours and you're just kind of being a substitute for that battlefield. So let's say you get into the account, like what do you do first? Let's say this is a brand new account, like first time logging in here. Typically you go into options and then you would turn off the sound, and then set animation quality to low so that we will reduce lag in Battlefield. And then sometimes on smaller keeps, the alliance war setting will be turned on, so you would want to turn that off in case you need a ghost. And then I prefer turning on this setting so that I don't accidentally click on marches in Battlefield. And then some other things I would check is the Monarch talent. So the important one to check for is subordinate city attack here, so that when you're attacking, especially in solos, you get the buffs from having subordinate cities linked. Sometimes people have like a wartime talent tree and a nap talent tree, and usually the nap one doesn't have sub-city attack selected, so you want to make sure to switch over to the wartime talent tree. And then you also want to check for the Monarch gear. So since in RSP we usually do a lot of fast rallies, I like to just change it to Ares, so that I can have that buff active, whether it's an arch or ground or cav rally or siege. And then along the same vein, I also want to check that the Monarch gear is on healing in case we need to heal. Usually not, but you never know. And then also on the same vein, I also want to check that the Civ treasure is on healing. So we change that over. And some other things to check for are shrine buffs, and then also castle decorations. So sometimes there's like a monster hunting keep that someone's wearing, and you would want to change that over to a PvP keep. So this one is already wearing a PvP keep decoration, so that's fine. And then some other things to check for are the marches. So I'm going to go ahead and senior march buff. And then something you'll notice is that when certain accounts are senior march buffed, the lower layers might not show because someone could have overwritten or saved the preset with the dragon talent on for an additional march size. So I'm talking about this one from Nidhogg, I believe, where like they have that extra march size. So you just want to make sure like if the lower layers don't show in the presets, that you turn on this dragon talent. And since I'm here, I'm going to turn these on. This is an account I fill for often, so I know that these are the talents that I want to turn on. And then if it's an account that you're not usually filling for, like if you're not familiar with it, you can also log in a little bit early and familiarize yourself with the presets. Like this preset 1 is range, there's ground, siege, etc. And then I also think that at least for an account, like if it's your first time, you can log in at least 15 minutes early, and then just make sure that like the presets are set up correctly with layers, because I've had cases where they weren't set up and I've had to adjust, and it can take a little bit of time to set up those presets for a battlefield, and you don't want to be joining late. Some other things to check is wall gen. Make sure that there's a wall gen on here and that it has gear attached to it. I've been in accounts that had Shajar on the wall, so it's not good going to battlefield with that. And then also that it's the correct culture, Japan or Russia. So in this case, it's already Japan. Yay. And then last but not least is I like to reset the subgens to get rid of the bug where sometimes the subgens don't apply. So I'm going to resign all the subgens and then put them back on. This was a bug from a while ago. I don't know if it's still happening or not, but better safe than sorry. And I've just gotten into this ritual where I will reset the subgens every time before battlefield, because in case the bug is still there, it really sucks if you're getting rallied and it happens to land and you don't have any subs attached. And then the last thing to check is also that the subs are linked. Like both of these check marks are checked, especially if it's an account that can't ghost. You want to make sure that these are checked. And that's about it. GG, have fun in Battlefield, guys.